Hey everybody, MJ here. Let me go ahead and move this down a bit. And there's one other thing, excuse me, that I want to do because I want to make sure that I don't miss any comments. And the last time I used the chat widget, I was missing some comments. All right, this is a bit, different perspective, and I'm not using the Pocket 3. Good old Prism Live Studio. Gosh, it's been a long time. I've been so enamored. Hey, Jimbo, thank you so much for joining. And it looks like, oh, good. Hey, Bud, fist bump to you. Hey, it looks like we got the chat widget, so I'm going to hide that. Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. The chat widget is working. You can see it down in the corner here. Fantastic. Listen, I'm back in the USA, and it's really quite something because, except for a little 4-day excursion that I did in 2018. Oh, by the way, can you hear me okay? I'm using the mic 2 and the receiver in the iPhone. Uh, except for the 4 days that I went to see Dr. Sears at the Anti-Aging Institute in 2018. I haven't been back to the United States since 2010. You had a flashback. Now I hope it wasn't like an LSD flashback, but I'd love to hear what it is. It's late night here, right? Usually when I'm late night in Taiwan, it's, like morning in the USA. Home of the free and land of the brave. Well, I'm not going to make any political statements, but I'm going to tell you right now. Let me just tell you guys the whole story, if you don't mind. I had quite a bit of trepidation, and like everybody else, I can watch YouTube videos. I can see what's going on here in the States. There's a lot of polarity, political divides. There's all kinds of crazy stuff and wokeness and just bizarre policy decisions, and. But I'm in North Carolina, and North Carolina people are pretty interesting because they have a southern accent, which may throw you off. It may make people think that they're not smart, but they are. I gotta. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. No, it is open to interpretation. Yeah, Uncle Bud, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the bell on the oxen. Yep. And it kind of relates to my own experience with Taiwan. There's too much news, too much YouTube videos, and people here are like, you guys are going to be like taken over by China. No, that's not going to happen. And I come here and they're not going to be taken over by zombie liberals either. So basically, what I'm saying is things are not as bad as you think. I'm going to tell you right now, here in North Carolina, every single person that I met so far is amazing. A peach. We were in a store. It was Lowe's, and we were looking at smokers. Now, in Taiwan, we have B&Q, but in the U.S., the equivalent would be Home Depot. Anyway, I wanted to buy a wood smoker because, you guys probably remember that when I was in New Hampshire years ago, like 25 years ago, that's all I used to do. And my sister's last house, we stayed in 2010 and 2008. I bought a wood smoker, and we smoked like Arkansas ribs and all kinds of crazy stuff. It was absolutely amazing, right? So I wanted to do that again, and we went into the store, and my sister was saying, "What about this one?" I said, "No, it's a pellet. You don't want pellets." And then I was talking about chips. I said, "No, you don't want like hickory chips or anything. That's for people who don't know what they're doing. It just makes soot." Well, a gentleman adjacent to us heard me make these statements. And he come over and he said, "Hello, do you mind if I make a recommendation?" We're like, "No." And he said, "Well, I heard you say," this is funny, "not to get a pellet smoker, and that, about what you said about chips." And he said, "I agree with you, and I think you're right." It was amazing. And so he gave us some suggestions. Oh, by the way, this is a motion control light over here. And so it may go, well, it's going to go on and off. I wanted this cool, like LED background, right? And so at Lowe's, we didn't find what we wanted to find. And he suggested that we go to Home Depot. So we went to Home Depot, right? And he was already there. So he's standing next to one of the Home Depot employees. And I see this guy, and I'm like, "Are you following us, sir?" And so he made a joke about it. And he's like, "Yeah, I knew that you would be coming here next. And so I turned to the employee and I said, "Sir, I would like to report a stalker." And it's funny, the guy says, "Yeah, maybe you should." But he's really helpful. And so we're at the checkout, okay? And we got a bunch of stuff and we're going to buy it. And and so, uh, now, like I said, I haven't been in the States, really been in the States. I mean, in 2018, I went to Royal Palm Beach, Florida. I stayed in a hotel. I didn't even turn on the TV, didn't go anywhere. I fasted. I didn't eat. I just went to see Dr. Sears, got the evaluation from his doctor, went back to my hotel, woke up early in the morning, gassed up the car, took it back. That was it. So I can't really say I was in America, because it didn't really do anything, right? So I don't really have my finger on the pulse. But it's amazing because you go in all these stores and it's all, the greatest hits of the 80s. I'm like, wow. So, of course, that doesn't mean anything to my wife, who's grown up, in Taiwan. But we were at the checkout counter, my sister, I, Hui Chen, my wife, and Phoenix, my daughter. And I was talking about how, wow, this is all like the 80s music and stuff. It's amazing. Well, apparently, a woman next to us heard us talk about that. And so I got done paying and we're waiting, for the staff to, help us with, finalizing the sale and stuff. And the woman says something, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, excuse me?" And she points to the ceiling, because that's, where the speakers are. And she goes, "Melanie." It was a song by Melanie. "This is a total stranger." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Wow. I haven't heard that song for a long time." People here will just come up to you, man, and say stuff and talk to you. And I like that. I don't find that offensive. I think it's cool. But some people might. Now, I want to give a major shout out to my man, Joey from Brooklyn. You guys know Joey. Now, here's the thing. You guys probably know all the major periscopers, from way back when, live streamers. We all know each other, and most of us have actually met each other in person. Now, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Joey and his beautiful missus. But of course, I met Dave, and Yuka is the one I've met the most. I've met Yuka on 4 different occasions. But I'm going to tell you something. Joey is, and I had a talk with Dave, because I talk with Dave probably out of all the live streamers. I talk with Dave in Osaka probably more than anyone else, right? Unfortunately, Dave has been like, up to his neck in alligators, and so have I, and so we haven't really talked too much. But I'm going to tell you that, Dave and I are like in perfect agreement. Joey is probably the most positive person, like maybe alive. He is an amazing supporter. And when, if you remember, a couple of live streams ago, or or maybe, gosh, maybe it was my last live stream. I apologize because I have been so busy and I got sick. What you may not know is before I left Taiwan, I got a case of food poisoning the weekend before I was supposed to leave. It was bad. I mean, I felt like I was going to die. It was terrible. And after I got out of that situation, I felt like I wanted to eat, and I actually put some more weight back on. But I'm down to 113 kilograms, which means that since 3 years ago to now, I have officially lost about 35 pounds. But I was kind of lamenting, and an interesting thing is, I lost a subscriber after that video, so somebody didn't like what I said, but that's okay. You know, if you like what you hear, I'm basically just an IRL, X talk show host, live streamer on the real Taiwan, and I show, real aspects of Taiwan. If you like that, subscribe, and if you don't subscribe. I have to earn that. And if I say something that offends you and you want to unsubscribe, bro, I support that. That's how it works. But anyway, Joey was so positive. Like, talking to me, right? You're a full U.S. citizen. You enjoy all the rights and privileges and stuff. And I got to tell you, like, I was apprehensive when I came here, right? Because John Stossel did a video called Illegal Everything. A lot of stuff in America is illegal. Things that we do routinely in Taiwan. But I guess it really doesn't make a difference whether I can walk down the road with a glass of whiskey and, a small portable grill and a bag of charcoal and set up a roadside stand and sell chicken wings, or not. In the big scheme of things, it really doesn't matter all that much. So Joey was like, massively supportive of me coming back, and I posted on my Instagram, MJ Klein TW is my Instagram. The Flighty app for iPhone has a really interesting share. It shows like a ticket, right? Sorry, I'm super tired. Joey is like the first person to respond to that and give me a positive message about being back in the States. And Dave in Osaka, and I know he wouldn't mind me saying this. Dave also had high praise for Joey for being like the most positive supporter. While he himself, this is why we admire him. While he himself is a live streamer there's a bug. Oh, come on, get out there. Okay, there you go. While Joey himself is a live streamer, in the premier realm, he's also like the biggest supporter of everybody else. So, Joey, we love you, bro. No, we all do. Thank you. Now, I'm in the United States, and there's stuff you can get here that you can't get in Taiwan. Today I was in the grocery store, and it flashed on me because, I haven't been here for a long time, and it really is a cultural shock. It's a different experience. It was like being in France. Very much so for me. And I know for my family too. And but I'm going to tell you something. It's really bizarre. France has more things in common with Taiwan than the U.S. does. It's crazy. But, shopping in France and trying to interpret the French. Of course, we didn't have that barrier here, but it was a really unique and amazing experience just shopping here. But like with the the checkout clerk, you can have like an amazing conversation. People here in North Carolina are just so open and friendly. They got nothing to hide. And it's not like, they get up in your business, but they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" But what I really like, and this is I think how people should be, and especially men, when people and men are passive, that's when things go bad. Because we shouldn't be passive when we see somebody that needs assistance. We should be proactive. And we should say things like, "Hi, uh, do you require assistance?" Something simple, non confrontational. And that's how the people are here. That little river, that I was talking about that the kids went on today, there was a young man named Chase, and he took it upon himself to be the big brother. He organized everybody together so they could go down the rapids. There's like a short little waterfall, like 1 meter, like 3 feet. And the kids love this stuff, right? But that's what we need. We need people to step up, you know. And I don't know. I don't want to get into this, but the feminist movement, in some respects, has kind of like, chivalry is dead, but feminism killed it. Sometimes men don't want to get involved because there's not even a personal satisfaction reward. That means that like I did something good, I helped somebody, because the outcome can be bad. Fortunately, though, around here, it seems like people, they very much look out, for their neighbors. I love that. Now, my thumbnail. Wow. I don't usually drink bourbon. Bourbon is a whiskey primarily known from being produced in the United States, like now, in the 21st century. But a requirement is it has to have 51% minimum corn. And corn is a grain, and I'm cutting down on grains. But there's this company, and look at that thumbnail. They're doing this flavored bourbon, and they have salt for everything. Salt and a flavor. Salt and a flavor. Salt and watermelon. And the watermelon flavor is authentic. It's off the charts. Then they have salt caramel, which I drank last night, and I admit I probably drank too much. So I went to a liquor store, and in North Carolina, they're all called ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control stores, right? My sister sent me to another one where she knew the watermelon was, and they had the peanut butter. My Lord. All the plans I had, of sampling different rums and whiskeys just went out the window. All I've been drinking is this stuff. And this right here, the salt caramel. And let me tell you something. You can't tell me jack squat when I'm drinking this. This is the stuff. All right, so let me do this. I have a USB-C cable. Let me see something. Oh. At the beginning, I had the Prism native system that was displaying comments alongside the chat widget, and I got double posting. So I turned off the native system. There are 2 comments that I missed. I'm really sorry. Bud says, I don't blame you if you stopped watching because of this. Bud said, I was going to the kitchen to refill my stainless steel mug, and the ice was ringing in my mug and reminded me of the cowbells on the water buffaloes. And he's talking about the water buffaloes in Taiwan. And Double J says, just saying how it gets portrayed, open to interpretation. So, wow. I guess I didn't miss those comments. The thing is, there were some at the beginning. Anyway, so, all right, whatever. I'm going to turn that off. Now, let me do this. Let me go around to your camera. And what I'm going to do is, this is my sister's porch. And she lives in an area where they have a lake in the back. So out here is the lake. And there's chairs back there and LED stuff. It's really amazing. So I'm going to be doing some live streams from that area over the next few days. So what I'm going to do is, it's kind of late here. We have an early start tomorrow. We're going to the Biltmore house, which is about 2.5 hours from here. It's gonna be like a really incredible stay. And my sister arranged for a B&B, and she said, oh, they don't have breakfast. So I said, oh, it's just a B. But anyway, I gotta be out of here. Whoops. Oh, art sometimes is dangerous. I gotta be out of here at 6 a.m. So I'm gonna sign off. Oh yeah. So you know the area. This is a nice area. And Bud, I mean, am I right? The people here are really amazing. They're so friendly, you know, and they're so open. And I really enjoy that. So I will wait for your answer, and then I'm going to sign off. I know this was a quick live stream, but I haven't been on since, well, you know, I was sick when I got the food poisoning, which you don't want to get. That was terrible. So I guess what it is nobody was chatting, and that's why I wasn't getting any messages. But like my manager said, you know, people are listening. So thank you so much, Jimbo. I really appreciate it. And Bud, yeah, they are amazing. So you guys take care. I'm gonna sign off, and I gotta hit the rack. Gotta take a shower. Yeah, it's midnight here. We're gonna be out here at 6 a.m. So, but don't worry, I'm gonna be doing some more live streaming. So yeah, have a bottle of wine for the Biltmore. We are. My sister signed us up for wine tasting, which is what we did in France. It was amazing, and my wife loves that. So yeah, thank you guys so much. You're right about that, about the wine tasting. Guys, take care. And remember, MJ loves all of you. Bye-bye.